So hello. The thing was actually on the entire time. Good thing I don't actually talk when I'm doing it. I don't just sit there talking to myself. I actually talk to myself quite often. It's a big problem. It's a big problem we all have. But hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. And welcome to Ace Attorney Investigations. Hopefully this one works. I've only tested it a tiny bit. A tiny bit being I launched the game. And I was like, yep, this is English. This is accurate English. It does say new game. We're gonna press new game. It's gonna be like, no, this is actually the Canadian version. And the only judge is the one with the orange beard. And he instantly ends every court case as soon as it begins. But anyways, oh, expected a gavel. I didn't get a gavel. What? Better not be the second one. Oh, okay. This game is 8 years old, but it's still 2 years older than the game we played before with Apollo Justice, apparently. Okay, I was pretty sure it was the first one. But anyways, Turnabout Visitor. Hope you guys are all ready for bad voice acting once again. I don't know what to expect. I have never seen this game beyond this. So, see how it goes. March 14th, 116. Question mark, question mark, question mark. My favorite town. To make sure the defendant is found guilty. What other choice do I have? That's the job of a prosecutor, after all. Oh, are we Edward? That may be true, but why? Is Phoenix and Edward talking right now? No, he wouldn't wear that hat. Why go this far? Sorry. Maybe I wasn't clear enough. But a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. No matter what the cost. Bang! Hey, my coat. I knew I couldn't trust Olympians. Prodigy among prosecutors. Always have been, always will be. I don't know what to give a voice like that. Oh no, it's him! Shiny metal guy. Did he shoot Edworth? Everyone's a prodigy when you're a prosecutor. You don't want to see what the non-prodigy prosecutors are like. They're all like Pain, except worse, because, you know, they can't blame their baldness on their lack of talent. Why am I Pixels? Hard to believe that I've been away from my office for a whole month. It's almost like that time I was gone for almost a year. Hope Detective Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office and keeping it clean. They're not finding any of those weenies in here again. Door's unlocked. Janitor cleaning my floor? We have a janitor? Detective Gumshoe? What's this smell? It's very familiar. Blood? Or copper. It could be an overdose of pennies. Well, I like that we actually have character movement. That casual drop. What the? There's a dead person here. What's the meaning of this? They got rid of my bookmark. I was in the middle of reading that book. I'm gonna figure out what page I was on. Freeze! It's me. Bald, black skin, black suit man. Identify yourself. Shut up. You've got some nerve committing murder in a prosecutor's office. I'll have you know my... Well, I was going to comment on my coat being able to soak up blood, but apparently it doesn't soak up bullets, so never mind. Is that a threat? Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. I'm the Edge Man. He's like, alright man, I'll leave. See ya. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and you're in my office. I work as a prosecutor in my local district, and I scare away the black-armed black suit man every day of the week. Little did I know upon my return to home after a month abroad, I would be thrust into a multitude of cases and some very frantic and busy days. Hello, Loex, how's it going? Oh, we get to actually see the people? Thank you for the 7 challenge bits. Challenge yourself to get through the entire stream. At least no one's actually suspecting Edgeworth.
Catch a stream crash. Whoa.
Hello, Sanosuke. Hope your computer thing went well. And welcome back. So, like, I already see like a big difference between Phoenix and Edgeworth. I would have been like suspected for the crime had this been Phoenix's office. I finished photographing the victim's body, sir. And I also sound exactly like you because I forgot who was voicing who. Very well, please continue with your investigation, my twin brother. Yes, sir. What was that? Is he, like, pouring coffee on himself? Well, I wonder who that is. His pixel art is amazing. Look at that mouth. Mr. Edwards, sir! You okay, sir? I mean, pal? Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. Oh, I need to let Doggo in real quick, so 1 second. I have returned. I also didn't meet the thing again. Oh. Did I accidentally call him pal? I'm sorry. He probably would have a docked pay, so I guess I won't call him pal. When I heard there was a murder taking place in your office, I ran up here straight away. Sir? This is Gumshoe. He's a detective with a local precinct, and the one they assigned to handle the murder case for the time being, along with every murder case ever. Except for the ones where he's not around, I guess. Let me get some scientist wannabe, I guess. Look a little pale, sir. You hurt? No, I'm perfectly fine. However, my favorite coat did get shot. Ah, look what they did to your office. It's totally trashed. I'll say. The culprit sullied the floor with dirt rather well. Also blood, I guess. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. Well, sounds like you're getting really burned up over this whole thing. Sir? Crime was committed in my office, so it's my responsibility to solve it. Instead of, you, detective. Oh-ho! Just like you, Mr. Edwards, sir. Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed. I think they'd get along this well, I know he looks up to Edworth. Edworth is like taking his own stride now. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. Someone was shot in my office, and that person left. Let's not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we were to find the truth. We'll keep any leads or information we have etched in the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? Okay, we get, calling cards. The logic button? Why is there a logic button? Why haven't we had this since day 1? I get the nagging feeling something important to keep in mind. Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you? No, not really. Thank you for reading my mind. Especially because of this. Keys. Key to your office? Hey, wait, this is my key to your office. Why is this going to logic and not the organizer? What do you mean, sir? If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should be clear to you. Logic? Never heard of it. By finding the connection between two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic. Thank you for the textbook's definition. Too bad your textbooks are on the ground. So, how'd you use it? First, I recall information through the logic button, and then connect them together. Maybe this is the prosecutor's real power. They have the logic button. instead of the court record. Along with magical powers, I guess. Now then, to touch the logic button and recall the facts, instead of just thinking normally. Don't know what I should do here. My office, the office key. No, there's no way those two things go together. What does the office key have to do with my office? I don't get it. For security reasons, all prosecutor doors are outfitted with locks, along with most doors in every building, which means it would have been hard for the murderer to get the victim in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location's crime as a mere coincidence. Especially since I wasn't here. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir. Must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? He's attorney looping later. That means... You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edward. That's some beautiful logic, sir. Sir. Yes, well, when you follow leads to the conclusion, only the truth remains, unless you get lied to. Or you mess with someone's autopsy report, but that's not important. However, the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well, and also hurt my poor logic-filled brain. But if I think carefully before piercing leads together, logic should flow. So I need to not think of logic, but Ace Attorney logic. Well then, let's get started with our investigation, shall we? Yes, sir! Sir, sorry. Oh, we're 12:02. Cool. Basis in a good investigation is to examine everything, sir. I know that, and when I want to examine something, I simply touch the examine button. Oh, if you ever feel lost and want to talk, just touch the partner button, okay? Give you great, precise advice as ace investigator, sir. Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose. Oh, Ace is just here. Oh, cool, I can walk around. I can walk around in circles. I can make him do circles around his desk, because I have that power now. I unlocked that with my investigator feat. Logically, of course.
Objection. Logic. Ergo. Hashtag charity.
I don't know why the thing didn't pop, but thanks for the 1,000 bits, OP. Thanks for the logical bits. Thing didn't go off though, that's weird. It is there. I have a thing for 1,000 bits. Good. I have a prosecutor's badge. Proof of my profession. However, I prefer to keep it in my pocket. Definitely goes against what Phoenix usually. How do I examine? Whoa. Ouch, they even knocked over your chess set. I had it all set up and ready for when you get back, so we could play a few games. I had no idea you were interested in chess. I'm actually pretty good at checkers, so I thought I'd give chess a try, even though it's completely different. In that case, I suppose I can set some time aside after we solve this case. Though I don't expect the games to tax my mental acuity much. The Steel Samurai. He does have the Steel Samurai. Well, it's a good thing my Steel Samurai doll was spared any harm. I mean, it's an action figure. Shut up. Speaking of which, I still haven't actually sat down and watched any of that show, pal. Sir. What was it about again? Well, I don't know much about it myself, except for every season 1 through 30. The hero of the Steel Samurai, warrior of Neo Old Tokyo, is the Steel Samurai, and his goal is to defeat the evil magistrate. The show geared towards kids. However, its high production values and riveting plot draws in a number of adults as well, including me. Spin-offs like Pink Princess Warrior of Little Old Tokyo and The Nickel Samurai, along with the deluge of merchandise and a new stage show, gives it presence. You, sure know a lot. You sure you're not some, sort of rabid fanboy? Of course not. Anyone that keeps up with society knows at least this much. That conversation lasted longer than expected. Let us return to investigation. Okay, well, we should probably examine the body. They finished photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine this area. Oh, that actually reminds me. I saw a manga thing. It was just a one-shot of this... Not this game, but of Phoenix Wright, where Phoenix was being dragged off to a Steel Samurai quiz show. Well, I'll post something later in Discord. Yeah, anyone keeping up with society. Also, there's a corpse. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. What do we have here? Hey, I think I've seen one of these before. It's called, phone. Oh, no, it's a police badge, detective. Oh, hey, I have the exact same thing, actually. What a coinkydink. Let's take a look inside. Buddy Faith. I have a faith that this man is my buddy. It would appear that our victim was a detective just like you. Let's see here. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area. Looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir. In other words, he was shot. Yep. Till the autopsy is done, I don't think we'll know much more than that. Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. You got it, sir. Oh, cool, we actually got things in the organizer. Gonna be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir? Of course, this is the safest way I know to keep track of it all. Alright, if you say so, sir. He was shot, yep. Keep all the evidence I find either in or with my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have to touch the organizer button. But the organizer isn't only for evidence, I keep people's profiles on hand in it too. Great, we have profiles again. Probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. Where's this hat? Okay, so this one we already seen. Is it gonna make me go through everything? Okay, no it didn't. Good. They got smarter. Files all over the floor, sir. Probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer. Logic. I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away, sir. It's rendered all time and effort I put in pointless. I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room, although I do recall thinking you should have kept it clean. Well, I watered the flowers every day, just like you requested, sir. Just added cleaning to the list this weekend special. For about half every day, every Saturday, I'd come and clean this place till it sparkles. Does he have a life? Maybe I should introduce him to Steel Samurai. That would get him up and about. Anything else I need to... These shoes? Nope. Where's his hat? I guess we're done here. Oh, there's his hat. I can't go to the hat. The hat is walled off by this badge. This invisible wall badge. Oh, done. What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? Even though the murderer walked away with it, or at least someone did. If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here. Even though they were clearly holding it. I think I've seen one of these before. That's one of those, gun things, right, sir? Care to enlighten me as to where? Oh, I know. I was issued the exact same model. I think. That's actually a pretty good clue. That means the other guy was someone... Oh, it might have been his gun. It might have been the detective's gun. I don't like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous, man. Like, got like so many people that get shot every day of the week. Think about it. You do see this model around the printing to loss, sir. I don't use mine much except for emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize it. So it's the same type of revolver as the one used by the Phoenix detectives. I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. Yeah, he did try to show Pearl his gun. Like, hey, little girl, you want to see this gun? Now to calmly use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. Signs of a detective Volver. The revolver, the standard model used by detectives, could it have belonged to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time? Yes, sir. On it now, sir. Excuse me, pal. Let's see here. What we got here? Mr. Edwards, sir. This guy's wearing a gun holster, but doesn't have a gun in it. What happened? So it appears our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. That was right. Logic. Let's see what else we can find about this revolver. Excuse me, pal. As I always say, you gotta look really careful at each piece of evidence. You know, gotta get all 3D and stuff. You can use the scroll wheels to rotate an object. There's no such thing as a bad angle. Use the slide bar X and Y arrows to zoom in and out. Get at the nitty gritty. The what? The nitty gritty. The what? Oh, hey, there's the thing. Do these markings not matter? That's so easy to take a life with just one pull of a trigger. You know, I can't even see myself really liking guns. Oh, but I love the ones that use the track and field meets to start races. You take off before it's fired, everyone ends up following your lead. Yeah, I can't even talk. Chase you down for a false start, detective. Now that you mention it, even when I finish first, I always wind up in last place. Kinda like my whole life, pal. I mean, sir, sorry. How many bullets are in it? One bullet. So it wasn't the gun that shot at me then. Looks like only one round was fired from this. Ah, so the killer killed the Vic. Not the victim. Don't know any Vic named Tim, but we got a Vic here. It's pretty icky if I had to say so myself, but just one shot after wrestling the gun from him. Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edward? We have no proof for now, but that's a distinct possibility. Of course, we already know who it is, I guess. Guess this is all about this is about all we're going to find out. We should send the body to the Damn. Well. Isn't that the guy that did it? Why? Oh, why? How could this happen to a guy like you? Are you alright? Don't touch me. I'm not alright. Leave me alone. Just let me be. Sorry, but I can't do that. This is my office. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body. Also, how did you know about this? Body! The body! Don't talk about him like it's some kind of lump of flesh. Look at him. Jim, he's just turned in for the night. It's actually Vic Jim, I guess, not Vic Tim. What was his name? Buddy? Sure. Just in a bloodstained suit, pal. Wow. You always wanted to wear a bloodstained suit. Where are my manners? Let me calm down just a smidge. Aren't you that prosecutor? I don't know. You prodigies always show up every day of the week. Why, yes, I am. Jack? I don't know how to say that. Portsmouth, prosecutor. If only they had ported this game, then his name would be a real pun. Is it Jock? Jim here was my partner in crime busting. I'm Miles Edgeworth. You should know that. And like you, I am also a prosecutor. Detective Gumshoe, sir. So it is Jock. Jock Portsmouth? That is the Cinderella mouse, right? It's Jock. You're Miles Edgeworth. Guess this is your office, even though your name tags were outside, I bet. Yes, that is correct. Then it was you. You're the one who killed Jim. No. Wrong. Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay? I will not. I know how things work around here. High prosecutor's office doors have all locks built into them. And the only owner of that office has the key to his own or her office door. Except I wasn't... I mean, that is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner. I wasn't even in until this night. Yeah. Yeah, Miles Edwards been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal. The key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? Except for last night, where I kinda lost it while I was making lunch. The only one who could get in here was me. Hey, wait a second. Wait. That means... I'm not sure what that means. So it was you then. You're Jim's killer. No way, pal. You got it all wrong. Everyone calm down. Oh, okay. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you're a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. And calm. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions? I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. So much that I would kill someone. Sure are one cool customer though, Miles Edward. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. Something of a legend, you know? Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Now how about a handshake to seal the deal? Is that a needle in your palm? Nah, don't worry about it. A pleasure to work with you. You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry about barging in like that. Carry on then. It's your room after all. Thank you, I intend to. I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. And steal this hat. You there. Sir. Hello, yes, I was busy measuring that missing jacket over there. Why don't you capture this scene on film for me? Final farewell to my partner, Jim. I mean, sure, I guess, why not? I should probably give them some space. Yes, some space. Anyways, I'm gonna check out my jacket. Hey, jacket, sir, what's it doing on the floor? Must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing a round. So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? I mean, not really. It's kind of like clearly over the shoulder, but whatever. They dared to shoot the ultra special jacket you made a prosecutor debut in? Oh, that is the one he fought Mia in, isn't it? Hey, you realize? What if they shot through it, pal? Would have been a disaster. I mean, sir, sorry. Not worth getting worked up over, detective. Not when there's something more here. Huh? Like what? I take it you haven't noticed it yet, detective. There is a giant contradiction right here in front of us. Really? What is it? Did I say contradiction? It's my favorite game. He must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him, too. Soon I'll be going by Nick and making my hair extra spiky. It's already got an M in it. I don't need any more spikes. But I have my own methods, and I will conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my deductive skills will come into play. First, I have to find the spot that holds the contradiction. This is it. This bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. Also a bullet, probably. When I spot something that's off, I should touch the deduce button with conviction. When I have found sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. To who, I don't know. Probably to myself most of the time. This is how I do things. Eureka! What was that? That was adorable. But that did not sound like him. Maybe I'm just used to my own voice, though. This bullet hole isn't the contradiction. What do you mean, sir? It's elementary, my dear detective. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim, and the second felled this frame. Literally. Hey, that's right, pal. I mean, sir. However, this gun was only fired once. Hey, that's true too. Also, I guess the other guy ran away with the other gun, so that kinda doesn't really make the contradiction too true. Just makes it clear the guy had a second gun for whatever reason. Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? Probably not. By the way, I noticed something, sir. Yes? What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame? Ah, that. It's a secret safe. That's secret safe. Ah, I smell money. I'll spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like that, what you're imagining is inside. It's my collector edition of the Silver Samurai trading card game. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way. Roger that, sir. Achoo! It's a bit dusty. Suppose what happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while. I had no idea there was a safe here. I kept it clean for you, sir. Also, kind of weird that I didn't see it before. There's nothing covering it. So why'd you put this thing in? It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one. Really? I had no idea. Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence, along with the police that just investigated. So, what's inside the safe, Mr. Edgeworth? Right now, nothing. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session. That's it. Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams, pal. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Now this is odd. Found something, sir? This keypad, don't you find it to be a bit too clean? Yeah, there's thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself. You there, forensic scientist, with the camera. Yes, sir. Could you please dust this area for fingerprints? You got it, sir. Probably shouldn't do this against in front of Portsmouth. I couldn't find, let alone lift, a single print. Looks like it was wiped down well. As I thought. Here's that logic is the only way around this setback. Time to rationally and calmly connect the dots with the information we have. Okay. Brain power activate. One, I guess? The truth is clear. I believe I figured out what the murderer was after. Well, what is it, sir? The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. Why? Oh, okay. The angle of that kind of threw me off, but it actually is behind the frame at all times. Okay, got it. I wonder if knowing that the motive behind this break-in was theft changes what the other pieces of information can tell me about this crime. I don't know. I feel like I need something else. Also, they moved it casually onto that couch, huh? What do you gotta say about this, Gumshoe? You got, sir? Notice anything? Is there anything you noticed that you would like to share, Detective Gumshoe? Just that I rushed over here as soon as I heard there was a murder in your office, sir. Probably shouldn't have left the oven on. Investigation just gotten started, so I guess there's not much else to say. So, were you the one that found the body, Mr. Edgeworth? Unfortunately, upon my return, I found the office door to be unlocked, and what awaited me inside was this whole messy affair. Ouch, that's rough. That's rough, buddy. Even though I left the security of this room to a certain detective... sorry, sir. Oh, he looks so sad. I assume you understand how to conduct investigations, Detective Gumshoe? Of course, sir. I examine things by tapping them or just by touching the examine button. Checking various things are how we gather evidence and information. How do I tap them with the top screen? It's not a touch screen. See the evidence we've collected by touching the organizer button. That for information, information escapes me. The information and leads, it's the logic button. That's it. Great job, sir. Deductive reasonable is the way to go. Called deductive reasoning, detective. Clearly something you lack. Wow, harsh. Info I've gathered. Seem to have picked up a few good leads. Oh, so now you're gonna do that thing you do with all the information, right? Where you like tap your head and then it goes whoosh and wow? What are you babbling about? The brainy thing you were talking about just a few minutes ago, sir. The logic. Said you can look at all your leads in the info by touching the logic button. I don't really see that button anywhere on my screen. Then you pick the pieces you want to connect by touching them and hitting connect. That's your way of investigating, right, sir? Yes, which is why this exercise in explaining my own method to me was unnecessary. Okay, then I'll explain my logic to you next. That's even more unnecessary. Wow. Poor Gumshoe. Out of my way, please. How you doing? Do you have anything to report? Sir, yes, sir. Nothing out of the ordinary, sir. I mean, I said yes, sir, but the answer was actually no, sir. And yet, there's something out of the ordinary right in front of my eyes. Talk about a contradiction. Something out of the ordinary, huh? I should look around a bit more. What about the chess pieces? Where are those? How's it coming along? Please, I need absolute silence. This picture is too important to mess up, even though I've taken like 30. Mr. Portsman, a word, if I may. Jim, I swear I'll find your killer and bring him to justice. You wait and see. It'll be for the both of us, but mostly me, because I'm gonna bring someone else, to justice. Now then, you wanna talk to me about something? No, that's alright. I feel like I'm interrupting their conversation, which is going on for way too long, being so one-sided. That's over here, actually. Watch out for the teacup fragments there, sir. That killer's going to pay. This tea set was my favorite one. Max, you're really mad over this, pal, sir. Tea set is very dear to my heart and can only be bought in England. It costs more than your whole month's paycheck. What? That's like 5 cents, pal. Now I feel like the killer's wasting one of my monthly paychecks. But why is there a broken teacup over here? Yeah, well, I guess we have to use logic. I'm not actually sure which one to connect here. I guess signs of a struggle? And then theft? Let me double check something. Play up safe yourself. Yeah, right? This is really weird having to actually move around. Hope we can solve this case quickly. I'd like to return to relaxing on this sofa. That thing looks like a billion times softer than my mattress at home, pal. Can I sit on it too? Just for a little while, sir. Detective Gumshoe, you know I can't allow that. Until this case is solved, neither of us has time to spare, let alone rest. You're right, sir. Gonna work hard and be a real trooper till the end. Even once this case is over, I don't think he can afford to take any time off. Well, I don't see anything, so I have to logic something. Dude, There's a possibility that the files sprayed on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer. Ah, you mean like it could be from the killer trying to find something, sir? Probably the code. Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen. Yes, sir. Gotta shelve the files like you've never seen them before, even at the library. Sure, let's give that a try. Actually, put them up the way they should be. That way we can actually tell if something's missing. That'd be the smart thing. Why do all the good ones always die young? Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. Not really. No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. Unless you're a little girl with spirit powers. But even then, that's not really the same thing. All we can do is search for the truth. And? So what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth? First, we calmly restore the file to the rightful place. You got it! Here, let me help. Steal some. So this file goes here, and that book goes here. Sure know about where things go, despite it being Mr. Edwards' office. Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal. Okay, done. Good, the murder was definitely committed here. And the bloodstains in the bookshelf are still fresh somehow, pal. Suspect the victim was killed in standing position, hence the prints on the shelf. And then the guy fell to the floor, right? Blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out. Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now. Yeah, but you know I'm no good with blood, sir. So there's something wrong with this picture. Well, blood stains right here, I guess. This is where the bullet lodged itself after it went through the victim. But it's at the bottom. For the bullet to be lodged so squarely in the file spine indicates the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred. I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way. Victim's handprints. Must have tried to support himself with his hands here after being shot. There are prints on the floor too, pal. Sir. Those must have been made when, unable to stay standing, he dropped to the floor. Appears the victim was in a sitting position here after being shot. Ah, so that's why the seat of the victim's prints has blood on it. That would be the logical conclusion, even though we didn't press the button for that. Spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold. Abdomen is like in your stomach, right? There's no way that would be... If he was standing, it would have been in the 21. Or the, like the teal ones up here. That seems more like it would have been hit on his leg. That mean we organized them incorrectly? No. It's only been 40 minutes. We're not even out of the first room. Let's see. Check. Can't see his other hand. I don't know. I guess you guys already know, so you can't think with me, but whatever. Oh, you know what I forgot to do actually? I forgot to actually set it so we have the hit thing up. Guess I can also get rid of the Phoenix thing. Let's see here. The logic enveloped me. Oh no. I don't know if I like the sound of that. There we go, back down to 0. I forgot to set that up. Eureka! There's a clearly contradiction here with this bullet hole. What do you mean, sir? You don't see. Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be... Okay, so it is the stomach. Right, got it. I thought it was. The hole should be much higher up. But, what if the guy was shot while he was sitting on laying down on the... You know what I was trying to say, sir? That would be illogical. The victim leaned against the shelf here after being shot, which suggests he was standing when he was shot. But that means, wait, what does that mean, sir? It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption, and it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. Was the faulty assumption caused... that caused the problem with the bullet hole's position? The order of files, I guess. I believe the order of the files is a bit off. You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now, pal? Hey, actually I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir. Oh? Yeah. See here how the files that were shot begin with the number O. Even though it's a 0. Well, whatever. What are those doing all the way down here? Down there after 1, 2, and 3? That's really weird. Actually, the way they are organized right now is the correct order. They're exactly as I see them in my mind's eye. But the numbers are all out of order. Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files were not in this order when the crime occurred. Aha, so that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you did. Just did, detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out. Hello, Serum, how's it going? You think it'd be okay to prop the body back up down it was before it moved, pal? They finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. Although Phoenix never gets to touch the body at all. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected, the bolt hole's now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files first before shooting Mr. Faith. Then to put the files back in numerical order, I guess. Oh, wrong person. Then put the files back in numerical order, I guess. Exactly, thank you for reading my mind. And then proceed to shoot the victim. Why would someone kill a man then look through the files one more time? Puzzling indeed. Files were thrown into disarray twice, once before and once after the crime, but why? Now the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder. Time to give it another look. What the heck is this? This. What's that? Why does it say gumshoe on there in blood? Say it's some incredibly incriminating evidence. It says gumshoe? It's backwards. Yes, indicative of criminal activity indeed. No way! It's gotta be some kind of mistake! Mr. Edwards, sir! Help me, I wouldn't say something, sir! I wouldn't kill anybody! It appears that one of my files was stolen. Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation? Is what the killer was really after? It's okay, I wouldn't... Oh, investigation complete. Yay! Looks like Jim was able to leave the name of his killer in the end. That's the most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me, pal! Can't be terribly pleased to hear your beloved partner is the guilty party. If you are going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say? If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. You've got it. I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. Must be some sort of flaw to his logic when waiting for me to dig out. Mr. Edward, pal, sir, pal. What are you gonna do? What I always do in court, I'm going to cross-examine him, except I never do that, actually. That's Phoenix's job. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique. Oh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir? Well, I'm always on the receiving end, you see. Might as well. Alright, first I listen to the witness' testimony. If I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts evidence, I open the organizer and present the piece of contradictory evidence. I did it one time, but not every time. This is not something he does often. To present something, I simply touch the present button, but that's old news. That's like there's gonna be a flaw in their testimony every time, right? Unless it's mine. Correct, and at those times I need to press the witness by touching the press button. Sometimes by pressing, I can draw out new information and new or modified testimony. I think I get it, sir. I feel like I'm not doing his voice correctly, but I'm not sure. I'll be sure to try this technique out during investigations too, pal. Very well, even show you how it's done. Now watch carefully. Mr. Portsman's logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. One issue there, he has a gun. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed the theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. And it'll be by his final words you will be brought to justice. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer. I can hear Jim's voice and he's calling for his killer's arrest. Just ignore the fact that it says Portsman and not Gumshoe. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman? No way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in that man's logic, and expose it with credible evidence. There's something I've been meaning to ask. What is it? Why do you call the victim Jim, when clearly his name is Buddy Faith? Isn't it obvious? Jim is the perfect name for my companion. Jack and Jim. Or Jacques and Jim. What's the joke? I know Jack and Jill. Tell you those two names go together like peanut butter and jam? But Jim isn't even close to the real guy's name. Well, Jock and Buddy sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third bunch of guys that decided to nickname Jim. He talks about the victim like he was his pet. Hold it. Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? Well, the body was covering it up quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. But judging what I've seen, it doesn't take much for your detective to miss something. But who do you think you are, pal? You know nothing about me, pal. You're not even my pal. There's a lot a person can understand from first impressions alone. Can't say I disagree with him on that point. Why don't you say something, sir? Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective could be the culprit. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it. With evidence. Couldn't ask for a better setup. With a game-finishing spike. Okay, but if they didn't notice, why is the book missing? Objection! They actually took that from the other game. Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there's a serious flaw in your logic. Bringing a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game. Can't help but find it odd, excuse me. Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking, I get it. It's really funny. If you have time to laugh, then you have time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? That's impossible. What's impossible, Mr. Portsman? Nothing. The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I hardly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines. Objection! What kind of language? Objection! It's impossible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters the detective's name where his file should be. Yeah, I mean, yes, it's got. It's only half an age. Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case. Like how they're standing side by side. That's pretty great. I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files, especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. Don't really need to bring that up, pal. Objection. It means, what exactly? What, does that make this dying message mean? It makes the work of a criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene. That's so low. Can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir. Definitely not this guy in front of us. Gonna get him, sir. You'll see. I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time. Well, Mr. Portsman, gonna take him up on his offer. Brilliant. Absolutely splendid. Largely deserving of the Olympic gold. Darn Olympians. I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. Yeah, you win some, you lose some. That's how life goes. Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. Dead or alive, that's a game I should probably play. Just kidding, that's a bad game. But you know, really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however. What is it this time, pal? You still after me, pal? Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office? We already went over this. That'd be me, pal. Mr. Edgeworth just proved that I'm innocent, pal. Pull on my coat. And then take it off. And then put it back on again. And then raise my hands up in the sky. Like I can fly. Like a butterfly. That's absolutely right. And I acknowledge your innocence. Then why do I sense you still have something to say? Probably because you keep taking your coat off and then putting it back on and then doing it again. Stop it. That's annoying. What are you, some kind of lab coat? Kind of lab rat? Well, I was thinking, did you know there's one other person with the key to this office? One other person? Hey, you there! Yes, sir. What is it, sir? Sorry, I've been zoning out pretty hard over here. Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me? It's gonna be... What's her name? Emma? The only other person I can think of that works for these people. A lady. That girl's a member of the building security. Think of her as a material witness. Okay, not her then. She's not security, right? She was a detective. Security! Did you say security? No, stop it! Don't, pal! Oh, is it, Yeah, Emma's not here yet. It's, what's her name? The one Gumshoe really likes. Can't remember her name, though. What's wrong with him all of a sudden? I brought her. Maggie, that was it. Yeah, that guy's, doing a good job. I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security. Oh, nice casual outfit. Why were you wearing casual outfit here? Detective Gumshoe, sir. Maggie! Miss Bird is of the security guard on watch tonight. I see, and your point is? My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which could open all the office doors in this building. Except we found the key on the floor, so, you know. But what? If you are not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only person who could access to this room is Maggie Bird. How dare you! I would never sneak into someone's room. I'm gonna take off my hat. That's right, pal. I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me. That's right, I did it. Can we take that as a confession, Detective? Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you'd have no problem with that, right? Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics. Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. Let me take off my coat and then put it back on, and then somehow take it off again, without actually moving my arms this time. That girl's the only one who committed the crime. Whoa, let me do it again. And for one simple reason. Stop it! Why does he have to have his coat on? Dramatic is putting it lightly. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird stuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all that more probable she was the one who faked this dying message. So you're saying she used the master key? Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say? That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. The flow of the good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. It's because he's a prodigy prosecutor that has not gone against Phoenix. This is what happens when you take away Phoenix's badge. The prosecutors turn to murderers that are way too overdramatic. I wonder if there's anyone else than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. Seems that the only way to get Mr. Portsman to give more details is to press him. Hasn't he? Hold it! Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person in the staff this time of night. And tonight, she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird? Well, I guess that's true, but I really wish you hadn't just, dragged me out here. I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. Wasn't able to? What is that supposed to mean? Yeah, moving on. Hate to get sidetracked by something so unrelated. What do you mean unrelated, pal? I want to hear what she has to say, pal. But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wrestling. Wasting time. Wasting my time. Ask for more details. Not so fast. I too am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies. I don't recall asking you for your opinion, punk. I'll be the judge of that, Miss Bird, if you please. I discovered the master's key was missing around 1 AM, sir. What do you mean by missing? As in it wasn't in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. Mr. Portsman, I believe this is to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? Can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words. I'm not lying, sir. I've been convicted 3 times. If that's the case, then I'd like to know, why do you have the master key now? I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. Unlikely story. And where is your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? Fingerprints, I guess? I don't know. I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again. I'd never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it. Yeah, pal. Why am I standing over here right now? Trust me, you don't want to test how bad our luck is. Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Glad you agree, Mr. Edward. But... Stop it! Establish Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edward's office, pal. Her motive? Didn't we already establish that was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe. It was there we go. I can say words. It is as Mr. Portman says, detective. Can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points towards the motive of theft. When I'm done taking blows, time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. Okay, but why? Stop messing with your jacket.
Hold it!
Hold it. I concur the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery. However, glad to hear the great Miles Edwards is in agreement with little old me. However, with regards to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe, hey, good thinking asking my opinion on the matter. If you interrupt me again, I will... Would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence? Do I have anything that points against this? No, only they know of them. Yeah, even Gumshoe didn't know about it, I guess.
Objection!
Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth after all. It's not like it's a lie or anything. Also, by your logic, we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe, the existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. Ah! You would think I would know that, being one and all. I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was part of a cunning plan. But she could have found out by accident while she was turning everything upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. Why else would you touch that code? After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted. Chew on that. And break your teeth. Actually, go ahead and chew on it. Yeah, even I didn't know about the safe, pal. Wow, what's that supposed to mean, Gumshoe? That means no way Maggie could have known about it either. Then are you proposing? That the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. What's wrong, prosecutor? Ooh. Do you have a different suspect in mind now? Curses, why? What made you? What's with the angry face all of a sudden, pal? It's all my fault. What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret saves. What did you just say? We are partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him, filled him in on the secret saves. Then that means that, yeah, I know. I only just told him to. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it. But the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. Now he's claiming that the victim was the thief? And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bird. Excuse me? I would just admit that if I was actually, doing my job. I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. Yeah, I just said I would admit that if I was... whatever. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession. That's exactly what her job is. Oh, sorry if I just copped the mic right there. Like, this guy was armed and dangerous. Also, she has a gun. She wouldn't steal his gun, whatever. This guy is not very good prosecutor. I think Payne is actually more logical than this guy. What the? Still accusing Maggie of murder, pal? Yes and no. I mean, she had to stumble upon Jim, who would probably draw his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that. I just... Not even a security guard, sir. I just point my gun at them and be like, hey, stop. And then I hope they don't realize it's one of those guns where, like, I pull the trigger and a little flag comes out and says, pow. Plus, even if she was a thief, he wouldn't have key to this office. This is precisely why he would have to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Wow, his face is much more round than I expected. Looks like a baby face. Pretty impossible for supposedly stolen key to be here with us unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portsmouth, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything to make sense. Yeah, see no honor? Now that I think we're done here, investigation's getting way too close to the real truth. So, investigation waits for no man. Well, you guys waited for it for a while, though. Almost done dusting over here, sir. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out? You can't kick us out. It's Mr. Edgeworth's office. Oh, right. Forgot. But I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You are all suspects at varying degrees and therefore ineligible to run this show. Except you're not, because that's not how this works. Listen, pal. How many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit. Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. But, sir, you have no choice but to accommodate his request for now. Actually, you probably should get some papers with that, but whatever. We have no proof this guy is actually assigned to the case. At least one of you understands. Now, if you could just remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman, we will meet again. Probably when I come back to my office and you're still here. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now just don't disappoint me here. Him being there is a good point, but at the same point, he hasn't said anything at all. Also, geez, that's a lot of cupcakes. Thanks for the 80 cupcake bits.
BD.
BD. There's a lot of cupcakes. I don't even like cupcakes. I hope you guys all enjoy Loix's cupcakes. Oh, we got the... Is her hat just on her arm? What's with that prosecutor, pal? Can't believe how rude he was. Unbelievable. Please maintain your professionalism, detective, if you have that. I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocent. You'll see, sir. But we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir. True. So then what now, pal? Looks like my life's fallen into another gigantic ditch. I'll go to contact Phoenix. Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway. Eh? Really, sir? For example, this hallway. Why is there a basketball in it? The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information. It's okay, Loix. Just, careful with all those cupcakes. Regarding the mystery surrounding my door. Begin investigation. I guess now we're in the hallway. Why is there a basketball here? Oh, this is a basketball. Why is there a basketball hoop in the hallway? What is this basketball doing here? That's Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. He also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis. And not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in the hallway. Oh, hey, Payne. How's it going? What do you mean, prosecutor? We know who this is. Looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth. To be sure, murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly, post-haste. Sounds like a messy case you've got in your hands. If you're feeling lost or need some advice, my door is always open. How gracious. Oh, he bowed. I will keep your offer in mind. What is this guy again? Oh, so we know who it is. Edgeworth doesn't care. What is a basketball hoop doing here? Hey, didn't this used to be just outside next to the building a long time ago? So when and why was it moved indoors? I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here quite recently. Drag it? Or that he wouldn't fit through the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it himself. I bet it was Buddy, too. All the way up to the 12th floor? I like how Gumshoe's just following us. Oh, look, there's my book. I won't rest till I've suspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. I'm gonna say that every time. Oh yeah, isn't that the Missing Zero series file, sir? No doubt about it. The bloody letters mark it clear as day. Seem to be a few pages missing. Our thief only took what was necessary and left the rest behind. So, what are these Zero files about, sir? Sir? Guess they got something worth stealing in them, huh? Not particularly, it's just a collection of court case files. However, cases with these files are not mine. Huh? They belong to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office, otherwise known as Von Karma. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were. That means the thief also wanted the file for a specific reason, right, pal? It would seem so. Also, call me sir. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing. 10 years ago? Wonder what anyone would care about such an old case. Well-crafted, high-quality sofa for visitors. The stitching is excellent. Talk about a luxury waiting area. These babies are also great for napping, you know? You would sleep even out here, detective? In a hallway? Never I do, I always just wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand. Always ends the same way, me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful? He always has spiky hair and blue suit. Got that girl beside him. I don't know who he is. He always appears in my dreams, though. Perhaps I should give it a try sometime to envision myself winning, naturally, except to a certain blue-wearing, spiky-haired lawyer. Well, we found the book, I guess. Can I go to my organizer? Okay. Wait, what does it say? Try to go by... Okay, so it's not him. This is gonna be another Dahlia thing, I guess. Hey Bird, how's it going? I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case. I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth. Look at those sparkly eyes. Emote idea, just take this face. Take this face, Bird yay. Can't let this chance pass me by. Must remember to ask her about the master key. Should jog her memory by showing my notes to her through the present button. The victim. Have you ever met the victim before? Well, I've seen him a couple times before when I had to go by Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir. That sounds like fun. Just once I'd love to play with him. Sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir. On second thought, I don't think I fit all that out well with him. Yeah, I think before it was Francisca? No, it wasn't Francisca. Who was it the first time she showed up? I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe it was Payne. Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it that you are an acquaintance of the detective? She was under my supervision back when she was still in the force, sir. One day she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit. Hi, Dragon, how's it going? Okay, yeah. So it was first case, and then she showed up again, and it was Godo, I think, right? And my brain... No, wait, it wasn't Godo. Because Gumshoe wasn't there. It was definitely Justice for All again. No, was it? I don't remember. Dang it. Right, the restaurant one. She was the waitress, right? Gumshoe there? Yeah, Gumshoe was there. I'm thinking of Apollo Justice where Gumshoe didn't appear. I'm dumb. Well, either way, hello Dragon. Hope you're having a good night. Welcome to the investigations. But I owed a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Or so I thought until a few hours ago. Actually, just a few minutes ago. Right before I was about to clock out for the night. You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct? Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building. I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster. Now I even managed to be named a criminal just when I've become a security guard for the 3rd time. Oh, I did not see that. I'm sorry. I was reading Civia's notes, so I got around to playing Half Genie Hero. Hope you enjoy. That's a lot to go through in one lifetime. I know! Just when I thought I had finally found my happiness, I wind up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck. You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird, nor do you need to worry about yourself. You can worry about Gumshoe, though. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask is to return your cooperation. Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth. You can count on me. I'll do all I can do to help. Seriously, just take this face. There you go, there's an emote right there. Look at those sparkles. Adorable. Let's see. Master. So when did you discover the master key was missing? By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 AM, sir, like I already said. No, so it was back around 2:30 AM. I was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. But I'm sure it was between those 2 times it was not just gone, but stolen, sir. Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place? It's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window. Always, you say, except for this time, correct? Well, I admit it was a bit careless, but I have my reasons. I left it out just because I was sort of using it at the time. After I had used it, I left it sitting out on the ledge. To use the master key? But why? What did you mean by you used the master key? Oh, I had to use it to open the door for the prosecutor who had forgotten his key. Nice hat. Why does that have a feather? I mean, it's my job as security guard, right? Ah, what is it? That's right, I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key. It was Mr. Portsman, sir. What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird, quickly. It was around 12 AM. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir. And that's when you loaned the master key to him? No way! It's against regulation to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsman and opened the door to him personally, sir. She does look good in that uniform. And then what? What happened after that, pal? Well, he called for me to come close his office, says he's leaving to go home. Around 1:30 AM, I think. So in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight. Talk about suspicious, pal. I doubt you could say you've never left your keys at home, detective. I think this calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portman's door. Every suspicious nook and cranny. Room 1203. Take this as Mr. Portsman's office. Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me, Mr. Portsman actually wanted 1202 really badly. Since you were already occupying Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir. So why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting 1202? I'm not sure, but it was because of something like his birthday present, December 2nd? Yep, that's gotta be it, pal. Can't think of any other reason why. I can think of at least 3. Bah, why am I wasting time thinking about this? The door was locked tight. Bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? This is the office of a high prosecutor detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar can get through them. Ah, so I guess only a great cat brother can get in. That must be our culprit is. Thank you for the 2 Nook and Cranny bits. Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from.
Hashtag charity.
Minimalistic yet classy door made of top quality wood. Kinda majestic too, pal. Fits in really well with the ambience of the prosecutor's offices. Even Mr. Portman seemed dignified just because he works behind one of these. Nonsense. A man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works. Look at Phoenix. He became a total bum in the future. And he works in the same place. That seems more like dignified than Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne? I suppose custodial work can also be dignified. He's a piece of prosecutor. Mr. Portsman's personal basketball hoop, sir. Can't believe he put something like this in the hallway of the prosecutor's office. But you know, it's actually pretty useful, sir. I haven't got lost trying to get to your office since it's been here. How long have I had the same office and yet you still managed to get lost? What am I exactly looking for here? Smack, smack, smack. Won't rest till I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. 1202. These 4 numbers on a number plate alone proclaim this to be my office. Whoops! Hey, these number plates will slide right out, sir. They have to be able to take the plate off when a room becomes vacant, you know. Although, the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of... Inside the forced entry. According to the guard, no sign that the lock was picked either, sir. Meaning that the door really was open with the key. Did you happen to ask any prints were lifted from the doorknob? Apparently the door looked clean as a whistle. Wiped they think. Whoever the thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. So it could be that the door things were swiped out? Master key was stolen. Used master key. Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story. What? No way, pal. I mean, sir. Did you just call me pal? You just said that you locked Mr. Portsman's office at 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen by that time. Wow, nothing gets by you, Mr. Edwards. You saw the contradiction like a pro. Mr. Payne just in the background, just like, I saw that too. I totally forgot about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right, it was around that very time I realized the master key was missing. And... well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir. You pretended? So his door is still unlocked. Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking up, sir. Pal, sir? So in actuality, you never did relock the door, then? Well, I thought maybe I could go back and lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. But why'd he steal the key and then expect her to lock it up? Deduce. But somehow connected to the evidence I hold. Eureka! Hundreds of pieces of evidence. I don't see anything wrong at all, sir. Detective Gumshoe thinks it's a little hard, sir. I don't really get it myself either. I see. Okay, I guess not. There's it. Okay, am I looking at the wrong door? No, this is definitely his door. Every suspicious nook and cranny. Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever. Same thing, but whatever. Hope I get healed. Probably not, though. I don't have my Magatama. I did not notice the door was added as my evidence.
Eureka!
Eureka! Contradiction between reality and evidence. If what Miss Bird says is true, then why is this door locked tight? Huh? Oh, you know what? You're right, sir. Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door? I am certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsmouth noticed it himself that I hadn't. Which means, what, sir? It either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. You opened a different door. How can you prove that? There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is... we need to examine these. On the number plate. Prints on the number plate, they will tell us all we need to know. Everything? Really? Like what, sir? Like... well, for example, what? That's the right answer, darn it. Well, we know for sure the Detective Gumshoe's dinner will consist of only instant noodles. Wow, that was amazing, sir. How'd you know? That's supposed to be a joke to cheer me up, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, that's it. Now then, we should get back to doing what we need to do, and that is... examine these. Doorknob, I guess? Prints on the doorknob will tell us everything. Hey you, pal, do the face when you see what you can lift from this, okay? So what'd you find out? Also, when'd you get here? No need for such belligerent nostril flaring, detective. Sir, I have found only Mr. Portsmouth's and Mr. Face's prints on the doorknob. So only two people's prints were found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive. I'm lost, sir. Thinking logically, a certain other person's print should be on this knob as well. Whose print should also be on this knob? Logically speaking. Oh. Look at all these pictures we got. Okay, this one is just right from the previous game. They did not put any effort in this, because you can tell from like the way these are like less shiny. I guess they're all kind of shiny. I don't know, this face seems like a different texture. Maybe that's intentional. I don't know.
Take that!
Take that. Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent? You mean, yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. What have we here? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. This was clearly moved. What's this? What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey, how about a game? That's okay, detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off. Hey, you're right, sir. Guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk. The position of this hoop is definitely unnatural. I better take note of this. Yeah, never. They would never do that. What is this? Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see, something written on it. That's what papers usually, usually on. Looks like a note from the victim. I brought 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about on the phone, but looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later. Yeah, it's for Mr. Portsmouth. Investigation complete, I guess. My health restored. Poking around this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely. How so, sir? In a variety of different ways. I think the time we had a little chat. with the real culprit of the case. You know who the killer is? Well, Mr. Edward, as long as my logic is sound, then yes, the mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman. What? Mr. Portsman? I know it! That's exactly what my logic senses were telling me to do, pal. I suspect it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir. That is anything but logical, but it is cute, so we'll let it pass. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Or lady and gentleman. Come to think of it, it's time to knock on Truth's door. Mr. Portsman, I've finished processing the bloody letters, sir. All right. Let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Nice throw. All right, looking good. I didn't see a single thing that was written in here. Take a good look at this. Wow. Nice catch. Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. And a line for you, Portsman. We got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edward. Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. You know that Mr. Jacques Portman, that you were the guilty party in this case? Oh, so the other guards are like, whoa, what? It's been like 10 minutes, guy. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay, if you promise to stay out of our way. You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job? See right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Ha! Who'd have thought it would ever come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? A legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years, except for that one case. But there's always this, incessant chatter about who forged evidence with that guy. It really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know? Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for now is to explain yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. We'll not be full of ourselves, even though you've yet to prove anything. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how may I ask you pros I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad for doing this to you, but I got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we are not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something? I'll show you what I'm basing my accusations on, with evidence. Yeah, like what? Hold it. Oh, and what, pray tell, kind of evidence are we talking about here? Jim was my partner, so you can't say I had a motive for killing him. And, that's it. That's not even an anthill, let alone a mountain. But it's more than enough, wouldn't you agree? Not really. Might I recommend you review what the word evidence means? It doesn't change the fact that evidence doesn't point to me as the killer. Hold it. Unfortunately, I believe I have already shown how earlier. Your speculations mean nothing, as I still insist that I could not gain access to your room. What should I do now? Should I raise an objection? Yeah, sure. You claim to have no way to open my door. However, is that really the honest truth? Heh, alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot. Very well then. I propose that you use this to open my door.
Take that!
Security key. I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less. Objection! Wait. Hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely, you were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right, you used your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key. Huh. The Edgeworth Return song is also his objection song, I guess.
Take that!
That's neat. You asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, I kinda forgot my key at home. It happens a bit too often for my taste, you know? But the room you had Miss Bird open at that time was not your own, was it? What? Also, I guess I'm standing over here right now. You have quite an imagination. Why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain it was Mr. Portsmouth's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Bird backs up my story. I'd say the objection thing is Phoenix's thing, yeah. I'd agree with that. Yet, what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted? Heh, and how do you suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on our doors, for example. That's right, I guess I'm over here now. They do slide out pretty easily. Furthermore, use one more other thing to give a very strong impression that the door she was opening was yours and not, in fact, mine. Does it make Miss Bird think it was his room?
Take that!
Take that. What? The basketball hoop, sir? It's quite the peculiar fixture in the hallway, let alone the hallway in this building, which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor. Where? That's very true, sir. Guess I'm over here again. Because there's a basketball hoop sitting there, I thought the door's opening had to be Mr. Portsman. There are signs that the hoop had been moved. To sit in front of my office, to be sure. I see. So that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Conjecture. Now you're just spouting nonsense. Conjecture, even. I had the girl open the office to my door, or the door to my office. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. None of that actually goes against what I claim his innocence to the end, does he? I was pure innocent as my jacket, which is full of wrinkles. Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears. My jacket's not dirty. I'll have you know I just washed it yesterday. Please calm down, for I intend to show who is the one truly covered in slime here. Slime. Gross. Yeah, right? Her jacket's really nice.
Hold it!
His jacket's lame. Using the master key, of course. Sure. You have a problem with that? That is what the master key is for, right? Perhaps we should place it in the elaborate labyrinth. Place it in an elaborate labyrinth of some sort for people like you. An elaborate labyrinth of some sort for people like you.
Hold it!
And what were you doing in your office? I was doing my usual training regimen. Training regimen? You're going through your law books from start to finish. Mainly batting practice and some weights. Oh, and I jog when I get the chance. Ah, you must be the buffest prosecutor we have, pal. With the weakest legal muscles, it would seem. I was doing my usual workouts, so... You have a single reason to suspect me.
Hold it!
I have like a billion. I think I've given you quite a few reasons, actually. Objection. But none of those would stand up on their own. Objection? Then what about all the evidence? Objection. It's all circumstantial. No judge would convict on such flimsy evidence. He seems to be trembling a little. One more little push. All I have to do is find the flaw in his testimony.
Hold it!
Using the master key, of course. Okay, so what are we doing here?
Objection!
There we go. Tap my head a little. I had your door dusted for prints. My door? Heh, what for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time. You're right, I didn't find anything. And definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Prints? What do they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her print should be naturally be on the doorknob she touched. Yak! Further, all the prints on the office doorknob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Objection! Doesn't change the fact that I was in my room the entire time. Is that really a fact, or is it fiction? Hey, would I lie to you? Yes. I have here proof that you were not in your room the entire time as you claim.
Take that!
This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman. A note? It was left under your door, or did you not notice? And right here it says, but you're out. You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then where were you and what were you doing? Yeah. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me, and Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he heard the sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when you did. When I did, you had threatened me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office. Hehe. Hehehe. Hehehe. What's so funny, pal? Well, that stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me is simply too much to bear. This is nothing else like it in the world. What? You backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit the crime already. And as I said earlier, it's all circumstantial, so full of conjecture. Say you checked my doorknob for prints. Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that doorknob down well. We already found prints of your fingerprints on there, though. I'm a little obsessive-compulsive, you see. Didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched. Which is why I wiped the doorknob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and mine own prints would be on there. No, it would be blank. You made that up just now, didn't you, pal? Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Like early evening, for example. Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your own doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied with work-related matters, although that's no excuse. That's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size. You can't prove that, can you? Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir. Portsman makes a good point. You can't prove he didn't simply overlook it, though you can't prove he did either. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you say? I only realized that I had one just now while we were talking, even though that makes no sense. Guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner. Memory serves, you came back to this office around 2 AM, correct? It was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But exactly at the time I was down the criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. Do you really think that's perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. I'll go check out this alibi right now, sir. BRB, pal. Yeah, Mr. Edwards, sir. Think we're in trouble. Just like Mr. Portman said. Got down criminal affairs at somewhere around 2 AM. You see? All the evidence points to him being the culprit. Must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. What do I have here?
Hold it!
Hold it. It is as you say, however. Yes, however, you're the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. Boom. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see. Objection! Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here. Oh well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit.
Hold it!
You were correct, it was around 2 AM. Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time. I remember checking my watch then, and I make no mistake, it was 2. Give a testimony like a pro, okay? So you came back to your office at 2. Even though it's technically not, I guess it is testimony. Not in court, though.
Hold it!
So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit. Yep, right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct, for whatever reason. Ask around, I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story.
Hold it!
Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony. It was just as I said, right? Yes, sir. A number of detectives said they saw you around that time. See, I have the perfect alibi. That's an ace I had up my sleeve. But why? Possible he actually does have the perfect alibi. What's wrong? Why the sudden sullen look on your face? Can't you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah, I think we've reached the end of the line and it's time to get off this crazy train. You there. Sir, what's up? Please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle. Maggie! Detective Gumshoe. Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn the situation around. Call Phoenix. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on his alibi? I need to calmly think this through one more time and with logic. There were 2 bullets that left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life, and one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. Clearly the more important factor. However, the murder weapon only shows sign of being fired once, meaning that it's entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. Seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight, that would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice. You know, the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder, so it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it, and once again after the murder by our second culprit, who was the owner of the second gun. If we suppose the second culprit's gun was the one that pointed at my back. Objection! Mr. Portsmouth, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case. Great, so you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edward! Sir, what are you saying? What's that mouth? What is that mouth, Gumshoe? This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person who I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief. A thief? But, sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction and whatnot? Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, the 2 culprits stole into my office tonight. What do you mean do, pal? Sir? That explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were 2 guns. Mr. Portsmouth tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office. Objection! Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know? If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsmouth. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsmouth was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time. So then, the files were put back in the wrong order, right? Correct. And then just when he was about to look somewhere else. Who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith? How did Mr. Faith come to your room, sir? Probably had business with Mr. Portsmouth, which is why he was in the area, as proven by that note. That's when he noticed the sounds coming from my office, would be my guess. Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right? Must have thought it was odd, so he came right in the office to check it out. Correct, and as a detective, that was the right thing to do, until he got shot. But when he came and found his own partner standing there, because it was Mr. Portsmouth, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsmouth was not so merciful to let him leave alive. He waited for his chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then... bang. He killed him. He He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. Like, oh no, he's saying exactly what happened. That was the moment in which the first shot was fired and the one that landed on my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind. Such a complicated troublemaker, you know that, pal? Well, if things were as simple as that, then it would all be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. There was another. Visitor, sir. Yes, this person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door of my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. That was the second time they were disturbed, and it seemed the thief found their prize. Stolen zero file, right, sir? That we kind of just left under that bench. Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared in heroic glory. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter. So the shell's getting messed up twice in the 2 bullets. It's all because 2 different people were doing these things at 2 different times, eh? Precisely. Logically. Now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and was not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame which I rendered the other person is now irrelevant. Because we now know the murder took place during the culprit's first victim. The first culprit's visit. Objection. What's so funny, pal? Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything. Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth, after all. But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right. Let me pull out my coat real quick. It would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there's still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor. Can't let him get away with that, sir. But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. Don't say that, sir. I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must. I thought he was going to say conclusive, but he ended up saying circumstantial. Or conjecture, that's what I thought he was going to say. You know something? I found your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edward. The person you met really was just a plain old thief. And why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. Part 2. What's this music supposed to be? The thief should be ran into should be a real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. I hate to repeat myself, but I've already said I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was doing criminal affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here. Hype music, but now it's gone. So you think we should be out there looking for the thief? Of course, now isn't the time to be wasting on dead-end discussions. I don't think it's all dead-ended. I found your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? It's like, oh no. I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just had to find a way to prove it. Actually, no, I wouldn't. But why not? That's elementary. The dying message, of course. Mr. Faith's killer was very clearly left those letters on the spine of those files, and it was after they were on there that the thief stole one of them. I mean the 0 files, right, pal? Sir? It's also how we know the letters themselves were set up, and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief was also the killer, do you think they would undermine themselves? Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either. Yeah, that must be it. Maybe it's just, maybe. That's a lot of maybes. That's just conjecture. Hold it. Once escaped, I hardly doubt the thief would linger nearby. Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after. Oh, you talk like you know quite a bit about this thief. It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything, after all. We shake my fist at you.
Hold it!
So why didn't you hear the gunshot? But according to Mr. Faith's note... Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say Jim left a note for me in the early evening? We have proof that he left at a different time, say, just before he was murdered. I don't have any, no. You see? So I insist again I was in my office the entire time.
Hold it!
Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith? Ah, that's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. And what of the evidence he brought? They were things relegated to yesterday's case. Just 2 items, a gun and a pendant. Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through its cracks. It says 3, right?
Objection!
Objection! Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase is, here is, you fail. Excuse me? You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you. Well, here's a piece I think you should read carefully. It says that Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces of evidence. Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman. You can't believe to get tripped up by a simple arithmetic? Ooh, the point. Where's the missing piece of evidence? It's... You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe? You have to say it. You have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe. Whoa, they actually animated that. Don't come any closer. I'm warning you. Ooh. This is all part of the investigation, pal! So don't even think of stopping me. Hey, what's this? Yeah, this on him, sir. Despite what you said, it would appear that you have something to hide. Already had something like that, sir. It's the only one reason anyone would hide evidence of this caliber, because it would unequivocally point to the person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail, for the section of the tape that would drive the last nail into his coffin. Ah, it's blood, isn't it? Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh. You mean this might be the Detective Faith's blood? No, you got it all wrong. No matter denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. I'm gonna eat that thing. You told us that you received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video. Yeah, it's totally suspicious. Was it the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personage when you killed him? You know very well there's no way to prove that. Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints. If I have to take a guess, I'd say the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith. No, impossible. I'm... Oh, he's actually eating it. Oh no. Gross. Oh, he died. Well, we did it, I guess. That was gross. That gulping sound was gross. Mr. Portsman been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir. Very good. And the results we got back from the lab text on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. Blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. As a bonus, they were able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well. Thank you so very much, Mr. Edward. I never can believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir. It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in the murder in my office. Also, we didn't have really, like, a court thing for this. It usually goes to court, but whatever. Please accept my apologies. Oh, it was nothing, really. Compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky it was only burglary and a murder this time, sir. Didn't hold up or hostage situation. I had to throw my hands up in the air, like I just didn't care. I think I'm finally rising up from the gods of misfortunes to just an unlucky person. Now I'm gonna go work at a French restaurant. Oh wait, she already did that. Something tells me we should hire a different person for security detail. Know something, sir? That Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor. Why would he say he was corrupt? I heard there were a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. Even rumors about some evidence he uses as forged, sir. Forged evidence, Instead, he decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. That guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession, but he was a prodigy. We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office. Yeah, whenever he got near that topic, it just clammed up. Although we can be pretty certain it was to steal something. This pertained me and you, sir, but, remember there's some sort of huge organization involved behind the scenes. Oh, well, well. Was Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything? It certainly lends credence to that rumor. It seems that we haven't heard the last of this. Huh? Mr. Portsman and the bad guy? I didn't say that, but rather there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance of this piece of evidence. The files, I guess?
Take that!
Person who stole this file. The other villain of the night. Yeah, I wonder who it was. Definitely wasn't me, sir. And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint and didn't shoot me? Mr. Edwards, sir. Yes? Came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir. You're welcome for dusting your files. This card. What is this? What is this, sir? Is it a bird or something there? It's not just any bird. It's Maggie Bird. It's the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. I think that's the three-legged raven that doesn't have a head. It's Navi. Yep. Link is the criminal. Even you should know what this is, detective. Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? The great thief everyone's talking about? Mask to mask? Oh. Well, I'm a little disappointed. Yes, it's the mark of the great thief Yatagarasu. Garasu? Yatagarasu. Under the mark of the legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is a noble to the end. A modern Robin Hood. Oh, fancy. Labeled mysterious and phantom light, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Even though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. Theft is always performed in silence, and always with perfection. Once the target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence was found is sent out to the mass media, along with this single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's appearance. Hey, Mr. Edward, look, something's written on the back. What? Let me see. It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files. So the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu, or organization. Quite a few keywords are popping up in this mystery. The murder of my office. The return of the great thief, Yatagarasu, as we say a billion times. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming. For they were heralded by an incident that began to occur 2 days ago. Great. The end. A brand new episode has been added. Turnabout Airlines. And saving. We might actually end here. But I'm not sure. I am empty on water, though. So I'll give it some thought. I'll let you guys know in a couple minutes on whether or not we'll continue. But so far it's been interesting. I like that I can move around. I'm glad that that guy was taken care of real quick, to be honest. I hope he doesn't make a reappearance. Specific point you'd like to get to. Wow. We'll see. I'm gonna go get stuff. Airlines, boo. Wow. That's supposed to be Edgeworth on the top? Doesn't really look like him. Also, it's way stretched out on the actual stream, huh? Thought the next one was next? Oh no. Anyways, I'll be right back. You guys can enjoy chair stream for a bit. But not. Oh yeah, it changes. Okay, so it's not Edgeworth, so it's probably some new character. Anyways, I'll be right back. I kind of do want to say let's just stop for right now. And then I might just do stuff tomorrow for like an extended time. Because I was ill prepared. Uh, very new? I don't like the sound of that. At least the spike leads me to believe it's not going to be old bag or something. I know she's infatuated with Edgeworth. Anyways, I will be right back. I'll figure out what we're going to do in just a bit. So you guys can enjoy chair stream for just a little bit. And I'll decide what we're going to do. I might do something if we do continue. But anyways, be right back.
Also for Chair Sama hashtag charity.
I see a Snowscape. They've probably already gone. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. I do feel better after actually taking a drink. But I don't know. Should we continue? Yes, no. I'll leave that to you guys. I am pretty neutral on the matter. I just realized that my microphone is all the way over there. Good thing I talk a little bit loudly when I'm actually giving announcements of some sort, I guess. I don't know. But, you know, I think I'll leave it to you guys whether we should continue just a little bit. I don't know. Might just switch games, to be honest, instead of switching everything else. So, hello TJ Kaze, how's it going? Doing pretty okay, hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good night. Hope everyone's having a good night. To play Black Ops 3 on your PC. Whoa. Good luck with that. Hope you have a good time with it. I'm actually considering switching over to... what do you call it? The Gungeon for a bit. Instead of doing more voice stuff. Because I was ill-prepared. And my throat is now a little bit sore for it. But, you know, still feeling like I could probably do some of this. So I'm probably going to stop the stream for just a bit. Just for like 5 minutes tops. As I turn everything else on. It also will help me like export this over to YouTube. Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm going to stop the stream for right now. Whoa. So I put my mouse over the take in RNG thing. I did not know that emo had stars in its eyes. Huh. You know, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go ahead and switch games. Thanks for watching Edgeworth, though. And, you know, I'll talk more about that in a bit.